Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about why I think freelancing is better for me as an engineer in Japan. This topic today, I'm going to go through, just to give a backstory. I was working as an engineer in a company for 4 years. I tried 4 years as a freelancer, and now I'm back as an employed engineer, web developer. With all the soy stacks, all the soy devs, and it's really come to a conclusion recently. That I think I'm not built for the employee life, and that's what I'd like to talk to you guys about today. And I've got my little buddy here, friend, to keep us company because you guys like things to look at. I don't have B-roll, or I don't really edit my videos well. So I want to pay this guy a lot of treats to be a part of this video. So let's get into this discussion. And the money is not as, you can make a lot more freelancing if you have the skills. So I make it, you can make a lot more money freelancing than you can employed in a company, but you have to have a bit of a you have to sell yourself well, right? So the money part, whatever you make in your company, you can make at least 1.5 that to 2.5. If you're really good, of course, you can go 3 times. Well, eventually, if you're doing that much, if you're working that much, you might as well start a company, right? And get other people to do it for you. Money-wise, it doesn't change as much as you think, because also you're paying a lot of taxes if you're freelancing, a lot more than a normal worker. You're paying more pension, health insurance, and all that, which I've never used for. So the other topic that I would like to talk about is time. And time is the most valuable thing we have. Whether it's the time you wake up, the time you go sleep, the time you take your doggo for a walk, the time you potty train him, the time you spend time with your kids, your wife, or whatever. Why is time important? I mean, of course, we all know why it's important, but when we're comparing it as a freelancer to an employed worker, is that you're paying for that 9 to 5, which is fine. I'm not against it, all that. I'm not an anti-working person. I understand that's how more or less the economy works. Point which I'm coming to a realization, I've probably said it in my other videos, is that I don't mind making less money to have more time. At the ripe age of 36, I've come to understand that getting paid 20 or 30,000 extra a year, or let's say having a Friday off to go to a friend's stag do, or just not taking the day off, because you can choose the days you want to work as a freelancer. So choosing a day off to take this guy to a dog park or something. As a freelancer, you can really decide how you want to spend your week. And it is strange, because 4 years of freelancing, the way I spent my time, I'll give you a real good example. It's Friday and you've completed all your tasks. You still have to stay in your house if you're a remote worker, or you still have to stay in the office until the time you have to clock out. I'm not against that. I understand. Freelancing for 4 years, that time was just amazing that I could do. I could travel for 4 days or something, There's that time is, I'll be honest, I've been feeling for the past 5 months as an employee, as a wagee, it kind of kills me in some way. I was a lot more stressed out probably as a freelancer, but I'm a lot more dead inside as an employee. The next part I want to explain is working in an SE company, which is like a software development company. I don't know what you call them. The reason why this is important to understand as a freelance is that in many cases, the SE company is taking at least 40% of your work. Let me break this down for you. Let's say they pay you 50K, which is okay. I mean, it's not amazing, but they pay you 50K. They have to charge their clients at least 100K per year, right? So if you're freelancing, if you could break that middleman out, you could get 100K per year. And that's something which I've explained on some of my videos. It's that simple, that ideally you want to break the middleman. You want to remove as many middlemen as you can with any type of contract work. And then what I'm noticing now is that I could just get these projects by myself. I don't have to go through an SE company. I've been doing it for 4 years. It doesn't mean you exactly cut every single middleman, because in most cases there's at least one company in between you and the client. But you can reduce those middlemen. So simply put, SE companies have to charge double of your income, right? It's simple. It's simple math. If you're working in startups, it's a little different. But I don't really know many freelancers who work for startups. You probably could, which I will be trying a lot more soon, is to try and work freelance for startups. So simply put, whatever income they're paying you, they have to charge double their clients. Simple as that. And going through the freelance route, I already see, well, the people who are selling you in these companies are not exactly engineers themselves. They're more or less salespeople, which could be a good thing or bad thing. Well, and if you have a likable character, you don't really need an SE company to find you projects, because if you have a likable character and you can code half decent, because the reality is, there's such a shortage in Japan that these SE companies can get away with charging crazy amounts, or even at least 100K per engineer per year, right? So once I saw all this, it just makes so much sense to go freelance. The only part, which of course, is you have to be careful with your working visa, which is a different topic, right? You can get a working visa on these freelance contracts. That's not a problem, as long as you check with the immigration lawyer. I did it myself, and if you want to know, I can connect you to a great immigration lawyer that can help you freelance and make sure you can stay in Japan. Why is this such an issue though? It's not. I don't have an issue with them charging double. But let's say they charge 120K and they pocket 60K. They're charging a company 120K per year, and they are expecting someone worth 120K or 150K or 200K. But this is the problem here. I don't think I'm worth that much. Like, I'm not worth 150K. I'm not a senior engineer who can just do everything great, and I can code review everyone and give them tips. I'm not that type of engineer. I am an engineer that can jump into a project and get shit done. So if you could get yourself in front of those clients by yourself, right? You can undercut those SE companies by at least 60%, right? So if these guys are charging 120K a year per dev, you can just say, hey, look, I'll do the same. I'll do that anyway, and I'll do that for 70K. And it doesn't mean you're stuck at home 8 hours a day working for that 70K. You'll choose your times wisely and just guarantee just 6 hours a day, or let's say 5 hours a day, because no SE company can guarantee 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, because these SE companies need you to do all these other things, or they'll need you to work 2 projects at once, or 1.5 projects. That's how they can make even more profit. And I'm not against all this stuff. I've just learned and seen so much of it. It's kind of hard to unsee. Another interesting thing I'm seeing with a lot of these SE companies in Japan is that they have the overheads are really, I don't know, really high, but in many cases they have to charge more than double per engineer because the running costs, and the amount of people they hire that don't exactly, how would I say it? They do less than break even with a lot of their workers, right? And I think this is a common thing we see in these kind of Japanese IT companies. This is just my opinion, is that they're not well-oiled machines. They run, many of them are barely hanging on, or they are just breaking even. The ones that I've seen perform very well for their sizes, for example, I know a small team of, I think it's 10 to 15 engineers, and seeing their profits I was quite amazed about 3 years ago, because it's all just engineers working hard in the company. And of course they use offshore quite a bit. It's a mixed bag there. But the company is a well-oiled machine, meaning everyone has a great job to do, and they're not just hiring people to fill seats so they can show possible investors that there's space to grow, or there's all these things that happen with these companies where they grow for the sake of growing, where they're not specializing, or they're not, well, it's really hard for me to judge because I don't have 200 engineers underneath, not 200 engineers, I don't have 200 workers underneath me. Another part which we have to think about too is that it's not just you working with a client, right? It's you, the middleman. The middleman is now not about the money. The middleman is about control of the workers, which is it's understandable because they're paying you. You are employed by that SE company. The SE company can get in the way. And that's what I'm honestly feeling, is that if I was freelancing, I would be more proactive in the project, because I would know that everything's on the line. Like I'm responsible for me. And being a foreigner as well, I wouldn't be, I know if there's any problem, they'll have to talk to me directly because I'll be freelancing. But if you're an SE company, there's that middle guy, you're a foreigner. My Japanese is not the greatest, but I can work. I might make a mistake in Japanese once in a while, not perfect. But that part too it just feels, it would be better off if I would directly talk with a client, right? Even though I can do that, there's always that feeling that there's someone else there you have to be careful about. It's really strange to explain this. I mean, unless you've really dealt with projects with someone in the middle or just directly. And with a company, let's say an SE company, there could be people, or there could be management in between, who want to put their hands, they want to get their hands dirty and stuff, but they end up just annoying people. Not annoying, let's just say they just don't have to be there. And that is quite a bit. I've seen that quite a bit in Japan, where there's people with the finger in their pie, and it's like, no, you shouldn't, just don't, and it doesn't matter. It's based on principle of responsibility and principle of management, that they don't even, some of these managers don't even have to do anything. Like, they just make things worse being there. The initial setup is great, but after that, you just gotta move off. Okay, the next topic, which is, everything's all connected, right? That is the company culture and the ladder. Ladder meaning the ladder you climb, right? And I see this now, and it's, like I said, it's hard to unsee once you see it. We'll start off with company culture. I prefer there is none. To keep everyone working and going well, they want to make a culture. I don't know. Actually, I really don't understand company culture. You tell me. I don't understand this company culture. My idea of, to be honest, I just think get the job done and get out, right? Right? No? But no, it isn't as simple as that. It's not just Japan as well. It's all around the world. There are people on this ladder, right? And these people on this ladder want to create a culture, because if there's no culture, we can't just be robots, right? Culture exists for a reason. I'm not talking about Japanese culture in particular, but you could just place Japanese culture as one of the reasons why you wouldn't want to work for a company and be freelance. You will still engage in the culture, but you won't be a part of it. And these expectations of culture in companies are things like, drinking events and, this feeling that you should be a part of the team. I have nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I think that's great. But if you don't feel a part of it, it feels strange. For some people, personally for me, I just want to write the code, crack a few jokes maybe, have a drink once in a while, and that's it. And don't try to bring me into the company now is fine. It's nothing wrong with that. It's not a particular company, but there is a company culture, and if you're not a part of it, it's harder for you to work. But if you're freelance, they don't expect you to do any other stuff. They just expect you to tell the hours you worked, what you coded, what did you fix, what are the issues, and then that's it. There's no company letter. You'll probably be gone in 6 months, maybe a year, until the contract's up. It's that simple. Because also you have to think, this company wants to exist 5 years from now, right? So they want to bring in more young people, train them, make kind of study groups, all these kind of things, which are great. Which, to be honest, I was never a part of it. I learned all by myself and just learning the hard way. Didn't join any hackathon. I don't really. It's not really my type of thing. Let's just drink and talk garbage with each other and trash, and that's my personality. But that's me. So that's the part. Company culture and the letter. Now we will talk about the freedom of movement. What does that mean for a freelance engineer or worker? Well, it means that you can work from anywhere. And of course, in Japan's case, in many cases, you're allowed to work within Japan. But from my experience, if you just tell them, I'm going to go to Thailand for a few months, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, as a freelance. As long as you let them know that you'll be in a certain location, to be honest, most of them do not care about that. They care that you can code on time and you can work with their team. Good luck on getting that as an employee, right? And this is the part which, now if you have freedom of movement, you can go to a cheaper location around the world for, let's say, 2 or 3 months. We're not going to live there. You don't have to get such a high income. So you can enjoy a freelance project working 3 days a week, making 3K a month, right? And just live somewhere for a few months. That option of freedom is, I think, more valuable than getting $10,000 a month but working in the office. That's just the way I think, right? Because you'll be taxed a crazy amount, and you should be sitting in an office every month where you can make $3,000 and live in Vietnam for 2 or 3 months and just enjoy a beachside resort or whatever, like all these digital nomads do it. Well, I'm not talking about digital nomad in particular. I'm talking about freedom of movement, which includes that. So the freedom of movement is, I honestly think, the real reason I am still in IT is because I think it's a gift. It's a gift of its freedom for me, especially in the 4 years freelancing. I was able to travel Japan. I was able to go to New Zealand for a few months. If you just push yourself to accept that I will never be employed again, and the only way to make it is through freelancing and remote work, you will push yourself to learn whatever it is, whatever it takes for you to get that project as a freelance. And I am guessing, okay, this is my take now. This is a hot take. It's easier to freelance than it is to be an employee. That's my hot take. And hey, if you like that, like, sub, Discord, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time when I see you. Sorry, I'm really bad at editing, and I don't have B-roll, and I don't have time. See you.